PowerPoint or the other one. So I will explain quickly what they are trying to do, and also some other Spanish people working on areas related to our work. We think it is very important to have scientific research and to share these experiences. In fact, both scientists that you will be looking at right now, they are involved in many European Union projects. And in fact, we think we should have collaboration at this level, at the European level. And the research is truly fascinating, and the implications for cryonics and beyond are more important. Again, this is part of the activities of the VIDAPLUS Foundation in Madrid. And one of our research scientists, Ramon Risco, he's very famous and very important. He has done incredible work in terms of cryopreservation of different tissues, sperm, eggs, embryos. He's also a founder of this company called Safe Preservation. He has many patents on research on cryopreservation. And until now, he was shy about talking about this. But now he's getting older, and he had cancer, he just recovered, so he wants to contribute openly to this, taking this forward. So he sent this video that has sound.
Well, first of all, thank you for this kind invitation to speak here. The title of this talk is Computer Tomography and Magnetic Ice Binding Proteins as Key Tools for Organ Cryopreservation. The problem in organ cryopreservation is the presence of big ice crystals, so people think that by replacing water, by vitrifying solution, they can get rid of the problem of the ice crystal. However, the problem of this approach is the presence of the toxicity. And the way of getting rid of the toxicity is first to use low toxic cocktails. The second one is to use low concentration of cryoprotectant. By following this approach, we can say that we are close, but we are not yet close enough. You can see where we are in this graph, in which you have here the organ, you start cooling it after perfusing it, and most of the organ is vitrified except for this tiny crystal, this very small ice crystal. These ice crystals are not harmful. The problem is when you start warming the organ, this crystal grows and start cutting and destroying all the tissues and all the structure of the organ. This situation can be seen in this paper, in which you have this kidney that was vitrified, but upon warming, some ice formed in part of the organ, so it destroyed the organ. So we are developing a couple of technologies. The first one is the use of computer tomography, and the second one is the use of what we call magnetic ice binding protein. In the case of X-rays computer tomography, in principle, computer tomography is nothing else than the attenuation due to the density of the matter by the Compton scattering of the X-ray. So by these different densities of the matter, you can distinguish the hair from the bones or from the muscles. The problem with most of the cryoprotectants is that they have the same density as the stuff that we are made of, so you cannot see anything. But there is a second effect in the X-ray, is not so well known, that is the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect, the good thing is that the attenuation goes with the fifth power of the atomic number. If you use alcohol as cryoprotectant because they are made of hydrogen, carbon, or oxygen, then in principle you have the same attenuation. But if you are using DMSO, then because it the sulfur atom and the atomic number is 16, when you go to the fifth power, produce attenuation that is 1 million times higher than attenuation that you have with the hydrogen. So you can see here the situation if you put water or put propylene diol, or you put methyl, you put ethylene glycol, you put glycerol. None of these cryoprotectants can be seen except for the DMSO. The DMSO can be clearly seen. You can see different concentration of DMSO here or here with a very high resolution, with the resolution of yours. This can be seen in this graph, in which you have this alcohol protectant, and you have here the DMSO at 20 degrees and also at cryogenic temperatures. So by using this approach, you can see if your organ is well perfused, and if it is not perfused or well perfused, you can repair, you can correct during the perfusion process. But not only this, but also you can see the ice. Why? Because ice is where the cryoprotectant is not. So here, for example, you can see this ice cube floating in this 55% limit. So you can see this vitrified kidney in which we have injected some water droplets and we have frozen them. So you can see vitrified kidney and these pieces of ice inside. We are using this technology for improving the standard slow freezing protocols in the case of ovarian tissue, for example. You can see here very clearly the ovarian tissue with the X-rays, and you can see here also very clearly the dendrites that is growing by using the slow freezing typical protocol. You can see here also the fractures in the organ. You know that fracture is also a problem when you cool to cryogenic temperature. So this is an organ that is well perfused and well. And you have a different organ that you cool too fast, and you see how fractures can be easily seen with the CT technology. The second approach we are following is the selective targeting of ice by induction heating of magnetic ice binding proteins. So the idea is to clean the organ from this small crystal, from this tiny crystal that form during cooling. How? You will see how. If you have, for example, this centrifuge tube and you put in your stuff, but also with magnetic nanoparticles, you can produce the induction heating that, of this magnetic nanoparticle. So each particle becomes a source of heat. So you are heating from the inner part of the organ. So if instead of the conventional warming in which you have very huge gradient, you have this induction heating by using nanoparticles, the heating is very uniform and very quick. However, there is a risk, that is the ice, that is this tiny ice crystal, that ice will melt at different temperatures as the glass, so it can start producing even larger crystals. So the idea is to clean the organ. How? There is a paper in which people clean from these tiny crystals the cells, the red blood cells, that is maybe an old paper. They have these red blood cells that they freeze very quickly, so they have ice everywhere, even inside the red blood cells. However, they put a laser pulse, but the laser was absorbed only by the ice inside the red blood cells. And I said inside because they contain hemoglobin, they are red, so the rest is transparent to the laser pulse, and this makes that you can melt the ice inside, but because you have a pulse, the water that the ice formed when melting the ice will be cooled very, very fast, so fast that they will vitrify. So after rewarming, now you have cleaned this from the ice crystal inside, and they recover. They have a good recovery of the red blood cells. In this case, what we propose is to use ice binding proteins. How? Ice binding proteins attach to the ice crystal that is growing, to these tiny ice crystals. In principle, you can make a complex that is formed with magnetic nanoparticles and these ice binding proteins. We propose to call this complex a magnetic ice binding protein. So if in your vitrifying solution you put this magnetic ice binding protein, magnetic ice binding protein will attach to the ice. So in principle the situation is safe as soon as you rewarm, but if before rewarming you put a radiofrequency pulse and you make the induction heating of this tiny crystal, the tiny crystal will be affected by the radiofrequency, and only this part and the rest will be not affected. So in principle, if it is a pulse, when it is finished, this pulse, because it is in a very cold environment, this melted ice crystal will vitrify, so you will have all the organ. And after that, you can rework the organ, you can wash it, and you can make a safe transplantation of your organ. Well, thank you very much for your attention. It has been a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
So as you see, Professor Ramon Risco at the University of Sevilla, he's experimenting new ways. You heard about nanoparticles, radio frequencies for cooling and then warming different types of tissues and organs. This is very experimental treatment. Again, he's working at the European level. If some of your institutions in different countries want to join us on these efforts, you are more than welcome. He has been training also PhD students for 3 decades. This is one of his students, Daniel Barranco. Actually, this is his LinkedIn profile, and you know, he's very proud to say that he was a junior researcher in cryobiology in Alcor. He actually, with Natasha Vita-Moore, has become very famous because he is the one that froze the C. elegans. And for that, they published other fantastic research that for the first time shows that at least in sea worms, they keep their memories, okay? And obviously, this probably will be expanded. We plan to do similar experiments with other organisms in Spain. We are trying to collaborate with different institutions in Madrid and Sevilla. And you can see the paper, actually the Alcor News, with Natasha Vita-Moore and Daniel Barranco. In fact, they have been developing so much technology, they already have several patents. You can see, for example, this one with his professor, Ramon Risco, that we saw before, and Daniel Barranco. It's a procedure for the conservation of C. elegans in the adult state through vitrification, utilizing ultra-fast speed for cooling in low concentrations of cryoprotection. So there are many experiments they are being doing with different ways of cooling and rewarming, different speeds. It's really fantastic work. So I certainly hope that you want to join on these efforts at the European level. We are collaborating with the top scientists in Spain. Here again is Maria Blasco, who is the head of the CNIO, which is the top cancer institute in Spain. It means Centro Nacional de Investigaciones Oncológicas, Oncological National Institute of Research. And she actually did her PhD with my cousin. My cousin is a personal friend of her. They studied 5 years together doing their PhDs in molecular biology in Madrid. So she's one of our friends. She's the one who increased the lifespan of the adult mice 3 times. They are called the triple. And this is one of our friends. This is the person who makes the capsules, the cryopreservation capsules in Spain. And this one in the back is Felipe, the crazy Spanish guy there also. The book that she published is How to Die Young at 140 Years. And I said, to the author, Maria, I said, Maria, this is a wrong title. It's first, How to Die Young at 140,000 years. That's the second edition. And the third edition will be How Not to Die. Anyway, the other work I want to show you quickly is our other scientific research, which is Dr. Javier Cabo. He is a medical doctor, PhD. He's the top heart surgeon in Spain. He's a member of the Academy of Sciences of New York and leading in cryopreserved cardiac procedures. Basically, he was going to be here except for a little problem, because he's the leading heart surgeon in Spain. They are preparing the 50th anniversary of the first heart transplant, which is next year. So he's right now in Cape Town in South Africa. And he's working on the big celebration for the first heart transplant in human history. Anyway, he prepared a little few slides here, again, because he's the leading expert on CryoLife methodologies for heart cryopreservation and transplantation later on. He did the first neonatal heart transplant in the history of Spain in 1994. He also did the first artificial heart transplant in Spain. He has done more than 500 heart transplants using mostly this technology. As I mentioned, he's the heart surgeon of the royal family of Spain. And he's also a friend of the current president of Spain. They grew up in the same part of the country. And he's working on, we helped in Spain to translate the latest editions of his books, and also Universe, if you know the latest, his last book, Universe, in Spanish as well. I have done a lot of TV programs with History Channel and Discovery Channel and CNN. In fact, in the last one, which is called Vida Eterna, I actually did this program with David Ettinger, who is the son, as you probably know, and the lawyer of the Cryonics Institute. So we are trying to popularize these ideas of cryonics in the Spanish-speaking world as well. I'm talking about TV. I just did a program with Donald Trump. So it just happens that now he's the president of the USA. I doubt that he will remember me now. But it happened a couple of times with Donald Trump. Maybe we should convince him of cryopreservation. Okay, anyway, the idea of cryopreservation begins actually with Benjamin Franklin, another Ben Benjamin, 1773. We talk a lot about these things, but actually we like to say that there is a before and after with Alcor, because the way Alcor has been advancing, a lot of the research is very interesting. Like, it has been done also by Cryonics Institute and other groups, so I like to talk also about Cryonics Institute. This is one of my former students from Singularity University, Nikolai aka Socrates. I highly recommend that you look at his videos. He visited Alcor, he visited Cryonics Institute, and he has done two of the most fantastic videos about human cryopreservation. So I'm inviting him as one of my students also to come to Spain and to see what we are doing in Spain, and also to go to Russia. I have been many times with Danila Medvedev, and I am very aware of what they are doing in Russia, and we want to collaborate with all these groups. We need a lot of cooperation to move this forward. But there is a before and after Alcor. Things have changed radically. In fact, we can see the same trend in medicine overall, even if we go back to the time of the Egyptians. You know, what we did before and what we do now in medicine. So we are working on the idea of a new singularity of cryopreservation. This is some work between Javier Cabo and myself that we want to present to you in Madrid when you come next year. And we talk about cryopreservation as this new singularity, a bridge to a new life. Obviously, recapitulating the four main steps: definition of legal death. Before real death, we talk about surface cooling, systemic heparin administration, step 3, deep hyperthermic circulatory arrest with enriched cardioplegic solution, and finally, step 4, cryopreservation process. Because I have the pleasure to work with Ray Kurzweil and know him for 20 years. In fact, I can proudly say that I supervise the translation of his books into Spanish, and I write the prologue of his books in Spanish. So I tell all my friends to buy the book in Spanish because it has my prologue, which is very good. It's better to read 4 pages than 400 pages. Anyway, Ray Kurzweil talks about the singularity. So we talk about this new singularity for cryopreservation. As you know, Ray Kurzweil has said that in the 2040s we should be able to reanimate people. We also believe the same. In the 2040s we should be able to reanimate people. And this is the idea that I'm doing with my friend Javier Cabo in Madrid. Also, we are very happy to take this idea scientifically to the public. As you know, Ashwin has been working very hard about evidence-based cryonics. Several Spanish scientists and Latin American scientists have signed this pledge. We translated it into Spanish. We are popularizing this in the world. We need to make this scientifically viable, that people understand that this is the way of the future. And I am incredibly proud that some of my other students at Singularity University created the Organ Preservation Alliance. And they got a lot of funding from the Department of Defense of the USA to begin the cryopreservation and suspended animation of different organs, to basically do organ banking in the USA, especially for military purposes, as you know, because that's the Department of Defense. And my students are working on this, Organ Preservation Alliance, and another group of my friends in Silicon Valley created the New Organ Alliance. Basically, this is for all organs, eventually, hopefully, brains or full bodies. My students were interviewed and they coordinated this article in The Economist, Organ Preservation, wait not in vain, it is coming. We collaborate also with companies for organ transport in Spain that we will need for all of this, and we are very proud that initiatives like the Brain Preservation Foundation has advanced this knowledge with 21st century medicine, Greg Fahy, and the incredible research he's doing. By the way, Ramon Risco from Sevilla is a close collaborator of him, Greg Fahy, and the research they are doing. I want to invite you all to a couple of things. One is my dear friend David Good. is organizing a beautiful conference in London on December 3rd, which is called Transpolitica. And I will be talking about cryonics and cryopreservation in Europe. So I welcome you all to join David in London on December 3rd. But again, cryonics is just plan B. This is only plan B. Plan A, as you know, is to stay alive. And I like to say, I do not plan to die. It is not in my plans at all. And so I am very active in terms of the Longevity Day and Longevity Month. As you probably know, it was this past October. We did a couple of activities both in Spain and in Latin America promoting these ideas. And I am also one of the organizers of RAD, which is the Revolution Against Aging and Death. I am very much against aging and against death. And so we created last year, this August 2016, we had the first conference with people like Ray Kurzweil, Max Moore, Natasha Vitamore, Aubrey de Grey, who is also here, Liz Parrish, who is what we call patient zero, the first human being rejuvenated using telomerase treatment. And we are going to organize 2 conferences next year. I want to welcome you all to come to California, San Diego, August 9 to 13, 2017. It's very cheap and it is incredible. It's going to be 5 days of incredible fun so that you do not die. And with that, I want to invite you again to Spain. Spain is not any country. Spain is the country of plus ultra. I don't know if you know this. In the Spanish flag, there are 2 words. And it says plus ultra, plus ultra. It used to be non plus ultra until 1492. You know what happened in 1492? The discovery of America with the Italians. The Italians are everywhere. It can be beyond, non plus ultra. And when the America was discovered, they took the non, and now it is plus ultra. Spain is the land of plus ultra. So I hope you come, especially because we are going to celebrate, I repeat, half a century of heart transplants with the leading surgeon in Spain. And we are going to celebrate, as we saw then, thank you for reminding us, of James Bedford Day. Okay? In 2017, we are going to celebrate half a century of the first human cryonically suspended, and who is in good shape, according to the latest report by Halcor, that he's in good shape. He's a bit cold, but he's in good shape. And so, once again, we are going to have the warmest cryonics conference in history next May in Spain. You are all welcome to come to Madrid, Barcelona, and Seville. Thank you.